Hey everyone, this is another game that I played on ranked here. Patch 13.14b, I think, is the name of the patch. I voted for the Petricite Forest. This is the one that gives you additional anvils. In a way, I changed my vote. I was the only one. I like to pick what other people aren't voting for, so I changed my vote to God Willow's Grove. I've been playing the Caitlyn legend right now, so my strategy for this legend is to pick portals that give low econ because I can then get an advantage by getting a bunch of units at the beginning of the game, essentially injecting a bunch of money, and then other players who have other augments, they won't be able to catch up monetarily on their board value as quickly. So I like to stay away from like the Scuttle Puddle and the other ones that give a bunch of econ. Instead, I like to get a bunch of strength for my units because I'm gonna have stronger units usually at the beginning of the game. So I like portals like this that can give you a bunch of items, or the portals that put the random hexes on the map where you can put your units. It's good when you get like the free upgraded units from the Caitlyn legend. You can put them on the upgrade on like the portals hexes and stuff to get a little bit more powerful. Kind of a tempo play style. Play for a win streak and then maybe just get a top four or whatever. Try to get a few points and then climb up the ladder that way. Here I got some challengers, Shadow Isle stuff. I don't like playing KL. I haven't played KL in a long time since it was patched out. It was really strong in like 13.13 or whatever, but I haven't really played it since then. So instead here, just going to play some Shadow Isle stuff and Challenger. Let's see. Components here, got a Rod, that'll be good on a Callista. Something, this could be like a Callista carry. A lot of it depends on what you get from your augments, but as far as a start goes, Callista carry seems doable. 2 Gallios would be strong for an Invoker start too, so I picked those up just in case I end up trying to play like an Invoker game. We'll see here. All right, so here's Kate. So I do, like I said, playing Caitlyn, I do get the gold, so I can do my Stars Are Born. That's the one I was talking about. So this lets you get a free 2-star of a 1 cost and a 2 cost. So in this shop, I could take the Maokai. That would go with my Shadow Isles, and then I'm like, well, Gwen is a Slayer, and you usually play Ionia and Rogue as well because Viego's a Rogue. So I hadn't been thinking that I would 2-star the Viego, but it was in the shop, and this gives me a bunch of tempo. So I got to crack my anvils and look for what components I want to put on my. I'm still thinking Callista carry. So I'll get some bows here. Oh my god, what do I want for the last one? I got a lot of components in my bench. It's kind of hard to figure it out. Let's just make sure. I know I want the Kinsu's Rage Blade, so let's make that first. And then I'm like, okay, what do I have left over? Okay, Jewel Gauntlet, that makes sense for Callista. And I'm like, do I need to slam an item here? I'm like looking at the board that other players playing, like, he looks kind of weak. I have two 2-stars and a bunch of items. I think I can beat him without slamming, so I defer on slamming, although I almost get sniped by Akshan here, luckily. Callista just barely survived. I was still thinking I might need to slam those components, but I don't. And here I realize if I win, I can make 10 gold. So even though I do want to play this Viego as my next unit, I get a little greedy here. I mean, getting the very first interest of being in the game makes a big deal, snowballing your economy and whatnot. So again, even though Viego is my next unit in, it's still going to be a little while before I'm level 5. So I like to get that 1 econ in right away. So here, obviously nothing amazing in my shop that changes my current boards. Still have my Shadow Isles and Challengers, and on my upgraded Zed as well. Zed did get nerfed quite a bit in some way. Nobody really plays him as a carry, at least not. You don't see him play as a carry as much as you did in the last patch, but he's still perfectly fine 2-star for this part of the board. So here I'm just debating: do I need to slam this Redemption? It's a fine item, although it takes away the opportunity to put either a guard breaker or a static shiv on Callista, so it does limit my carry options, but it's good to balance your tank items and your carry items. So here I'm just like, okay, well, it's good enough of a tank item for now. It's good on Maokai because it goes with his shield, his Shadow Eye. When he gets like hit or attacked 8 times, gets a little shield and then gives him a chance to heal up from the Redemption while his shield is up. So it's pretty good synergy there. Other players got the Trickster's Glass and looks like some type of a Sorcerer start, although they have a Runin's Hurricane, which is not normally what you see on a Sorcerer board. So they're probably planning to be pivoting that. They're just playing strongest board for now. pick up an extra Zed. I mean, maybe if I get a million Zeds, I'll 3-star it. And I guess if I got items for Zed, I mean, you could try to play like a Slayer's board. I mean, it is still a valid comp, although it isn't really in the meta per se. But if I get a bunch of Slayer stuff and maybe an augment and a bunch of items for Zed, maybe I'll play Zed carry. Like I said, it has synergy with Gwen, so if I could transition maybe to a Gwen Zed board later on, maybe. We'll see. For now, I just level. Again, I want to play aggressive. I want to play for tempo. I picked Stars Are Born. Like that's sort of the whole point of the Caitlyn Legend is to play for tempo, get a strong early game. So go ahead and level up here and put in the Viego, which makes Rogue. So now Zed can go to the back line. And, him and Zed can clean up the back line there, and Kalista and Maokai clean up the front line. So everything's going to plan. Just holding some extra units. Pick up the Bastion here. That could make Bastion along with the Maokai. So just kind of holding that. And let's see what comes up. So we got the carousel here. So I don't have any free components. So Kalista likes bow items, so another bow would be good for her. There's a spatula. I could do Ionia. You can definitely put, or Challenger. Either the Challenger or the Ionia emblems do go well in a Shadow Isles board, but that was not an option. And last pick, so I'm just going to get what's left over. So I can make a Guard Breaker, or I could just get another frontline item. I already have 2 backline items. I guess the belt could be frontline or backline. I'm not exactly sure why I chose the chain there, but I did pick the chain instead. It gives more resistances. Like I have HP and healing, now I want some resistances, not just more raw HP, which is what the belt kind of provides. So as far as like balancing out your different types of tank items, I think that might have been what I was thinking there. So there is a Samira in the shop here, so I definitely want to probably pick that up. I do want to play more challengers to go with this Kalista, who's my main carry. But I have time to think about that while the round's starting. Don't need to do it right away. This board looks like it's playing Sorcerers with a multicaster. They already got a Sorcerer emblem. That's going to be good later on. Yeah, Viego gets killed, that's fine. So Zed will go to the back line here. Wait, what happened to Zed? What happened to Zed? He's supposed to be untargetable going to the back line. I'm not exactly sure what happened to him there. And man, this board is deceptively strong with the 4 Sorcerers there. Orianna, Malzahar, and just the Cho'Gath on the front line. I was like kind of surprised I lost that. But yeah, definitely hurts my econ. I mean, losing before you get to keep your win streak into neutrals really does suck. But I mean, you can't win them all. And again, I've been thinking I could potentially, hold these Zeds as long as it wasn't costing me econ. But it doesn't look like, well, it hasn't been like immediately obvious that I want to be playing Zed carry. So just to make econ here, I'll probably end up selling that. Oh yeah, I went back to look at this. Like, how did this board kill me? It's just all the sorcerers did like an equal amount of damage. Yeah, I was still confused on how that board like destroyed me so quickly. But yeah, gotta move on. This board does not look as strong. They got a sword. They got an Akshan. Akshan's a pretty popular carry right now in this patch. So 3-item Akshan's pretty scary. Oh, snipes my Kalista. That sucks. Yeah, back-to-back losses. I'm like, man, I thought my board was pretty strong. I'm like, oh well. I do want to play challengers eventually, but I do want to make econ even more. I don't know. I do this quite often. I sell for econ. I think I probably do it too much. I probably should be holding some of these units. Luckily, the Samir comes back here, so I didn't get punished. I think maybe I sell my units too quickly. So here I'm thinking, like, where could I have put my Kalista that wouldn't have got sniped by that Akshan? I'm like, well, if I put her in the middle, depending on which corner Akshan's in, he'll just shoot the tanks. So after watching that last fight where my Kalista got sniped by an Akshan in the corner, I decided to, I think from now on I'm going to put my Kalista in the middle, at least until the later game when you kind of know who you're going to fight. I think it's a little safer for now, so I don't get. There are a lot of people playing Akshan right now, so if I'm not going to be scouting a lot, it's good to might be safer to just put her in the middle, so she doesn't get sniped by Akshan. Bunch of chain vests, pretty obvious here. You can make a bramble. Not a whole lot else you can do is 3 chain vests in a tier. I mean, you could make a protector's vow, but definitely gonna make at least 2 of these chain vests into a bramble. 2 chunk items, 2 backline items, pretty good balanced start here. Yeah, I'm just looking at which challengers I need. So I need a Warwick and a Samira. So I have the Warwick and the Samira actually on my board. So when I level up, I can put those in, maybe replace the Viego or something, get 4 challenger. But I want to see what my augment is. I'm not like on a win streak. I don't need to like push levels or tempo at this point. And here again, you can see I'm positioning in the middle. Try to stay away from any pesky Akshan snipers. And no Akshan here though, so it wouldn't have mattered. There is a Darius with some pretty secure looking items, but luckily I did get the Bramble Vest there, so I guess he doesn't have Infinity Edge, so he can't really crit anyway. And look at he basically does nothing against the Maokai. He just kind of like, hits him and does a very small amount of damage, and then Callista gets to do her thing. The other good thing about being in the middle is Darius didn't wrap. If my Callista had been in the left corner, that Darius might have wrapped around there. But luckily being in the middle kind of kept her safe there, behind the Maokai. I do pick up a Invoker here, Karma, just in case I want to put Ionia in. Oh, what's this? Ravenous Hunter. So this is the Warwick carry augment. Changes his ability from a heal into a damage. So he no longer heals himself, but he does a lot more damage. And here I'm scouting to see, is anyone else picking it? I should definitely consider it. I mean, I have a Rageblade Slam. That is one of his key items. So, and I am playing challengers, and I work on my bench. I'm like, I've actually never played this augment. And I mean, it's a ladder game, but I guess you gotta try at some point. I mean, I've definitely seen it played against me, so just trying to get my 4 challengers in here. So I move the Rageblade over to Warwick, and then I gotta adjust my board here. I should have rolled a little deeper here. I think I really want to hit this 2-star. I only want a Warwick off from the 2-star Warwick, but I rolled 30. I don't see it. Keep rolling. I really want this 2-star Warwick, but So in here I'm trying to decide, like, is it worth putting a Jewel Gauntlet on a Warwick? Like, his ability used to be healing magic damage, but I wasn't sure if his augment made him do magic damage. But I read it a little bit closer, and no, it doesn't do magic damage. It does physical, I think, or true damage. Actually, I'm not 100% sure. Either way, I don't think Jewel Gauntlet is a good item on him. He does mostly physical. So I just go ahead and put it on Callista. I can go on Kaisa later, or maybe I'll end up carrying the Callista. Unfortunately, Warwick, and his inaugural debut as a carry, he actually goes up against the other carry augment here. This is the Riftwalker. And unfortunately, that one is 2-star with 3 items, and Warwick was 1-star with 1 item. So the battle of the carry augments does not go in my favor there. So here still, I really want to find this Warwick 2-star. I'm looking at Juggernauts to go with Warwick. He's also a Juggernaut, so I get that Juggernaut in there. Not going to be playing Ionia anymore as a main trait. I'm not playing Slayers anymore since I've sort of pivoted into this Warwick carry augment. I'm not going to try to play like Gwen or anything later. Go back to my middle positioning here for Callista. And again, I should have been rolling first and then thinking about other things. But again, this is new. I've never played this augment before. So I'm kind of slow here to get out of the gates. I'm thinking, well, Juggernaut. I'm going to want to play forward Juggernaut. I'm going to want to play more Challenger. Seeing the Darius in the shop got me kind of stuck there. And I didn't keep rolling. I should have kept rolling, but Warwick dies again. He only has 1 item and 1 star. So far this Warwick carry is not off to a good start. Again, I'm not. If I was experienced with the comp, I would have rolled faster and known exactly which units I want. But I'm not experienced with the comp. But luckily, the rest of my team actually cleans up here. Still got a solid board here with the Maokai and the Callista, even though now she's only 1 star. All right, so Warwick needs healing. His ability normally gives him healing, but he loses it with the carry augment. So he really needs healing. So either a Hand of Justice or ideally a Bloodthirster. So if I could get the glove, I can make Hand of Justice. Nope, not getting the glove. So lots of cloaks here. So that's 1 component for a Bloodthirster. So this just gives me the most options. And actually, you can use 2 cloaks in this comp because the best in slot 3rd item would be a Quicksilver. So he can't be stunned. So if I do that, could end up being 2 cloaks, or I could use a cloak and a Hand of Justice, or Quicksilver and a Hand of Justice, but then that would be two gloves. So either way, I'm going to need 2 cloaks or 2 gloves to finish off this comp. Okay, so now finally, more likely to use Juggernaut set here just because he's a 2 cost, and while I'm rolling for Warwick, so I can find more sets. So I replaced the other Juggernaut with that. It's actually a bit of a downgrade at the moment, but it does have Ionia overlap. Eventually, you're probably going to want Yasuo for a Challenger, so even though the Nasus was slightly stronger as a Juggernaut, it's also more expensive and less likely to 2-star it while I'm, or even 3-star while I'm rolling for Warwick, so that's why I replaced him there. Still have this Maokai on my board. It's not really doing much per se, although it does give Shadow Isles. And Teclista, but he's just a good tank. So maybe until I can 2-star this set or something, he can just hold my tank items. Close fight comes down to an early Zera year on 3-5, but yeah, I'm not sure exactly what augment. I think that's Shimmer. The one that makes her attack faster. I didn't end up looking, but close fight, close fight. I can't really slam any items. Like I have to greed components for Warwick. There's not like a normal comp where you slam whatever items you have for tempo. Like you really have to have 3 items for your Warwick carry. There's no real there's no alternative or pivoting. It's not like I can just like pivot to a different comp later depending on what items I get dropped. Like I have to save all my components and make exactly items for Warwick. So normally I might have slammed like, Protector's Vow or something here, but no, I gotta save all my potential components for Warwick. At least until he has 3 items. I'm just kind of trying to figure out how do I want to do positioning. I kind of want him here so he can't get targeted from the left and the right, and then he's near the healing. This fight, another Akshan player. Luckily, my Callista now won't get sniped because she's kind of behind the tanks, although then they died and now she can't get sniped. Although, again, Callista doesn't even matter. Oh, Warwick is the one that matters. Unfortunately, he wrapped around the backside of their tank line and then got sniped by the Akshan. So if that Warwick had gone to the Ash, it might have been a different story, but I don't know if I lost the 50-50 or something on that little wraparound. Yeah, I mean, not a great showing for this Warwick carry augment so far. I mean, I won 1 round, but I've then lost 2 other ones. And the one that I did win, the Warwick, was already dead. The rest of my team is the one that actually won. So again, you kind of normal. It's a 2-cost reroll comp, so just kind of rolling on 6 here, where you have the best odds to find 2 costs. Stay at 50 gold for the interest, and then just try to find as many Warwicks as I can. Luckily, I'm off to a pretty good start. I mean, I have 4. So I'm not like behind or anything, but still gonna need quite a few more. And no works there. Doing another Callista. There's a Jinx. Okay, so I can finally get. Let's see what the Zon is. Ooh, robotic arm. I think that's good for Warwick. I mean, I've never played this comp before, but I mean, he's gonna be my only Zon unit that matters, so may as well play him. All right, yeah. So now I gotta move my tank items to set. Again, I normally might make a Protector's Vow here, but there's a chance I want to make Hand of Justice. So I want to greed all my components for Warwick. Roll a little deeper. I don't get to make Econ here. And pretty strong Slayer. Noxious Board's the guy that I beat earlier, but now he's got a lot of 2-stars, a lot of item slams. So he's a little bit stronger than I am, so unfortunate. So I have a couple options here. I could try to 3-star the Callista, or I could just have Callista as an item holder and then move her items over to Kaisa. So either one of those is an option. I decided for econ purposes, I really need to make sure I can hit this Warwick, so I'm just going to sell the Callista for now. It does kind of, like I said, I kind of do that a little too often maybe sometimes. All right, Adrenaline Rush. This heals your Warwick when he gets low. That sounds perfect since he lost his healing. It also gives you 2 Juggernauts. Contagion would also be an option, but this one sounds good to me. I mean, it helps Juggernauts stay alive, and Warwick is a Juggernaut. It also gave me another Warwick, so that got me 1 closer here. I'm only 1 Warwick off. I really should keep rolling here. I'm only 1 Warwick off here. Yeah, positioning can be done as well, but I still have plenty of time. I should keep rolling here. I don't think I quite realized I was only 1 Warwick off. I don't know if I knew that I got that 1 from the augment right away, but then I see my bench. I'm like, oh wow, I'm only 1 off. I should keep rolling. Don't care about the jinxes. Ah, perfect. Perfect. All right. Comp online on 4-2 here. Still need some items for him. But, I mean, he should be strong. I've seen this comp do really well. And either way, I'm going to want this Quicksilver or Bloodthirst. So go ahead and slam that. All right. Can I kill this? Okay. Middle positioning. Got stunned by the stupid Void Crab. Stuck on a Bramble Vest. Okay, this is not... Oh, yeah. That didn't go well. All right. So Warwick, first lesson. Do not put him in the middle of the board where he takes all the initial aggro. Like, okay, that did not... And like I said, I could either go for Callista or Kaisa. I mean, I got a bunch of Callistas here for free, so I'm just going to buy them. Again, it hurts my econ a bit, but if I can get a 3-star Callista, why not? She does have 1 item on her. She can be a secondary carry or something. All right, don't really need to roll anymore. I think I have the 3-star Warwick, so now I'm more focused on positioning. I didn't like the middle positioning, so that didn't work out. So let's try a different positioning. Come back to, usually for melee carries, it helps to be kind of on one of the corners or one of the sides so you can wrap around potentially. Here I'm putting him in the second hex over just so like he's not, there's a chance the person to his left can get targeted and the person to his right. Again, he doesn't have any healing yet, so I'm trying to make sure he gets as little aggro as possible. So you can see the really kind of took the initial aggro from the there, and then he finally Warwick's doing what he's supposed to do, wrap around to the back line. So that's why you kind of want your melee carries on the edges there, so they can kind of do that whole wrapping thing. Finally, my Warwick carry survived a fight, like after like 6 rounds or something. He finally got to do what he was supposed to do. I'm like, okay, well, this lost a lot of HP. I'm middle of the pack. A couple people above me, they're win streaking. Okay, again, I need a healing item. So either a sword or a glove. Sword to make Bloodthirster or a glove to make Hand of Justice. It's the only thing that matters to me. There's a sword over there. And I think Bloodthirster is the better of the two. So yeah, I got the sword over the glove. Even though the glove is on a Belveth, it's a more expensive champ, but whatever. All I care about is getting this Warwick items built at this point. Alright, so I still have one more cloak here, so I can still potentially make a Quicksilver, and that would be best in slot for Warwick. But I'll have to get that from the minions, because there's only one more component round coming up left. So I'm just hoping I'll get the glove. If I don't, yeah, well. Alright, again, I've never played this comp, so I'm not super familiar with the positioning. I'm trying to think. I played plenty of Noxus, so I played a lot of Darius carry. So I'm just going to try to play this like I would play Darius, where I kind of put him on the corners. He has healing now, so I actually might want to put him in the very last slot. Now that he has healing, you can wrap a little better from the far side. Again, I was kind of putting him in the middle before because I didn't want him to get initial aggro, but now that he has healing, I'm less worried about that. Ooh, knocked out by a Scion with a Trickster's Glass. Ugh, frozen by Freljord. I think there must be Freljord 4 or something. Yeah, Freljord Soul. And again, he just didn't get to move. Like, I really need that Quicksilver Sash now. I think I've lost my Warwick about every way you could lose him. I've lost him to burst damage, bad positioning, chain CC. So far, again, I'm not super familiar with this comp, but I'm not doing a good job positioning my Warwick to be the most effective. But again, I played lots of Darius, so I should have some experience positioning for like a Darius wrap. Heimerdingers were usually a great option. I was thinking about, I don't have a lot of gold, and I still need to hit some more units. Like, I don't think this board hasn't been winning, so I don't think it's strong enough. Like, Heimer is a great addition when your board is already stable to sort of cap it off. But so far, my board has not been stable, so I'm not quite ready to say it's time for Heimerdinger as, you know, sort of the topping on the cake. I didn't quite move my Callista, unfortunately. She should be behind the Warwick and everybody else. She's kind of on her own over here with the Darius. Luckily, Warwick is doing Warwick things. Again, Callista gets wrapped up. She was in a bad position, but Warwick is finally get to do his thing with some healing and some attack speed. And yeah, cleans up the board there. He did have the execute, so that could be a little dangerous going forward, but Warwick was able to win that one. Yeah, I was kind of reading. I was trying to figure out when does he get the healing. It's at 50% or 25% of his HP. I have this random shit on my board. He's just giving Ionia to Set and Aurelia, which is not very important, but he's a decent unit on his own, and I think he's better than a Heimerdinger if I'm not going to be putting money into Heimerdinger upgrades, which again, I'm not quite ready to do that yet until I feel my board is stable. Then I'll put Heimerdinger on as sort of like the last final unit. I'm trying to decide here if I want to play Juggernauts. I'm holding the Garen down here. Maybe I play 4 Juggernaut. To, again, give Warwick some more tankiness. Come on, Quicksilver. I just need a glove. Nope. No gloves. I'm like, Big Titans. He already gets a lot of ability power and stuff from his abilities. I think just more healing, more shielding is probably the best. Do a bunch of rolling here. Maybe I can get a 3-star set. Normally I would play a Scion, but I really want to play Juggernauts to go with Warwick. Don't have anything to finish off. I'm out of money here, so what items can I put here on Callista? So you got another Rage Blade, which she had originally, and I took her original Rage Blade to put it on Warwick. Yeah, now she got one back, and then final set tank item here for a set. So I did not end up making that Protector's Vow. Probably could have saved some HP if I'd slammed that like 10 rounds ago, but again, I didn't know if I was going to get the tier for Hand of Justice. So that's why I graded it for that whole time. Again, normally I don't grade my components that much, but in this type of comp, that's very specific items. And again, I just need to sell Heimer. I don't have the econ for him at this point. At this point, I'm close enough to hitting 3-star Callista that I'm gonna spend my money on that instead, and maybe some more Juggernauts. If I could level, I could play 4 Juggernauts here. Like I could replace the Shen. The other thing I could get rid of is the Jinx. I could put a different Zon in. I could put in Urgot instead of Jinx. I think a 2-star Juggernaut with the Juggernaut augment is better than a random Shen giving me Ionia at this point. So here I'm just trying to find Callistas. 2 off this Callista. Nope, didn't find it. There's Zephyr there. Oof, luckily I didn't have time to look. Okay, he didn't Zephyr my Warwick. I'm thinking, can anyone use this sword? Not really. This board's not quite as strong as the other boards I've fought. Luckily, no CC for my Warwick, and he gets to do his thing where he wraps in the back line. All right, 3-game win streak. Okay, so this board is feeling more stable. I was a little worried. I'm at 30 HP here. I was basically last place except for the other guys who are already dead, like the super weak boards, although someone now just went below me. But I was scared there for a while. I was like rolling to 0 basically every turn, trying to find any upgrades I could. Kaisa 1 over Samira 2, very minor upgrade if any. I'm just trying to find Callistas. There's a Callista. Okay, let's sell some of these other stuff here. Callista. Oh, perfect. All right. Well, I wasn't expecting to get 3-star Callista, but I mean, that is a pretty big upgrade for the board. I mean, it's 4 Challenger. No Shadow Isles or anything, but it's great to have a secondary carry. And like I said, normally it could be Kaisa, but I don't have a 1-star Kaisa. So just for safety's sake, I don't want him getting hit by any random Cassantes. I didn't have time to fully scout all the boards. So I just want to make sure he doesn't get hit by a random Cassante and just kicked off the edge of the map. So just move him, I moved him back 1 hex there. Fighting the Darius here. It's going pretty well, looks like. Looks like he does have the Heimerdinger on his board. That's the Noxus executed player. A very common thing. I do that also when I'm playing Noxus. I use Heimerdinger for the final unit. A lot of times you want to put all your items on Darius and Katarinas. You don't have extra items for like some fire capes or anything, or shred, so you get both the physical and the magic shred and the burn from the Heimer. It's really great on the Noxus board. All right, for here, I mean, I have three fully itemized units, so it's like, okay, well now this would be for a 4th unit. I could either go for more Juggernauts or more Challengers. I'm like, Challenger Emma, why not? I was also looking at the Last Whisper there. Maybe the Armor Shred could have been good. Could put it on the Jinx or the Kaisa or something just to proc it for the Warwick to benefit from, but yeah, go ahead and put Challenger on Jinx. Why not? I only need 1 Challenger. So I thought I was done rolling, but I decided to keep rolling. I could have bought the set. I probably should have bought that set, but I really just wanted 1 more Challenger. And there's a Challenger, Samira. Takes out a 2-star Juggernaut. I mean, it makes my front line quite a bit weaker, but it does give me a 6 Challenger. I don't know if this is good or not, but again, I'm not super familiar with this comp, so. And again, I didn't have time to fully scout all the other players, so I'm just kind of keeping my Warwick in the 2nd row just so he doesn't get Cassante or something random like that. Yeah, no Cassante on this board, so it should be good as far as that goes. And the Zephyr did hit my Callista, unfortunately, but not the Warwick, at least. This player is getting kind of close. Get the Bloodthirster shield, get the healing from Juggernaut. Yeah, and back to full. Okay. Not sure why I sold that Juggernaut. I guess at this point, my board's basically set. Yeah, 6 Challenger. I'm like, okay, not going to play 4 Juggernauts. Just going to focus on 6 Challenger instead. So I just try to sell for recon. Yasuo, a much better Challenger than a 1-star Samira, and he has me Ionia. Again, I know it's not like a major thing, but it does help keep the set alive and everything else. And yeah, so now it's all about positioning and getting to level 8. I guess I could try to 2-star the Yasuo and Kaisa, but they're not really itemized. They're not that important. There's that Scion that wrecked me that one fight where I got CC'd to death. I'm like, let's try to stay away from that Scion. Oh, there's also a Cassante over there, so I'm glad I moved away from that Cassante. This is a Riftwalker player, so we both kind of got our comps on line. He's got he's got he got a tank and his carry there itemized, and I have my Callista and my Warwick, so kind of equal. So now it's just a matter of which hero augment is better. It's coming right down to the wire, and it looks like as far as single target goes, the Warwick Hero Augment beats the Riftwalker Hero Augment. So casting in Hero Augment is better for killing squishy backlines because he can just jump past them, but in a one-on-one, the Warwick Hero Augment is a little stronger. So that's kind of cool. Again, I never played this comp, so I've actually played Riftwalk quite a few times, but I've never played this one. So I wasn't sure how they would match head to head. I did see that the Callista and the Jinx got bombed because they were standing next to each other. Like the Cassidon jumped and killed them both basically in one cast. I think I decided I should separate my units from the backline so they're not clumped together in the future. So another minor positioning thing I can fix going forward. Yeah, a lot of options here. You could get some tank items, a couple Warmogs, Bramble Vest, you could take a Guard Breaker or a Rage Blade, you could even take a Chalice. I don't know how that affects Warwick's ability or not. In the end, I'm like, well, I don't know. I was thinking about Warmogs for some more frontline. I'm not exactly sure why I chose Guard Breaker here. I guess I already have enough attack speed, so I don't need more. I didn't need the Ginsus. It's kind of whatever. I mean, if I get an Urgot, maybe I'll put those on the Urgot, but the game's coming down to the end here, so I'm not likely to get a 2-star Urgot. I guess I could. I'll roll an 8. We'll see. Can kind of position here so I don't get stunned. My computer actually froze here for a minute. Luckily, this is the auto battler, so I don't actually have to play out the fight. But yeah, the game froze. I'm like, come back. Okay. Wait, what happened to my team? My game froze. I came back and like my whole team is dead. So I didn't actually see what happened there, but it didn't go well. This is the Noxus Execute player. I'm guessing his Scion must have stunned my Warwick or something. Again, my computer froze there for a second, so I didn't actually see what happened. I'm like, huh, 2-star Darius and a 1-star Scion killed my whole board? Huh? Okay. Guess that can happen. I was feeling pretty comfy. Now, not so much anymore. I'm at 12 HP, so I'm just going to roll it all down here. Could find Juggernauts. Scion's normally a good unit, but I don't see how I fit them on this board. I guess in lieu of having 4 Juggernaut, I guess Scion is a better just single unit on his own than in like a 1-star Nasus or something. So whatever, I'll just put him on board. Do some random shuffling. Just kind of keep Warwick safe. I saw there was a Cassante on somebody's board. It wasn't this player. So just trying to keep Warwick safe from any Cassantes. Close to the slowly reposition the rest of my board. But yeah, Callista is still doing work there as well, and Warwick cleaned up that Noxus player. Again, there's 2 other Noxus players. And that was definitely the weaker of the 2, I think, because yeah, he's dead there in 5th. It's coming down the wire. Everyone's at basically 1 HP, except for the Shin Huige player. I think that's the Cassidon Riftwalker. He's at 1st, and basically everyone else is basically 1 life in stage 6 here. I mean, I guess you could maybe survive. Oh, that guy just died. Never mind. All right, down to 3 players. Looking for any small upgrades I can find here. Again, I could replace the Jinx with an Urgot if I get a 2-star Urgot, but it doesn't look like I'm on a 3-star set at this point. Okay, so yeah, I could, let me show you items, but whatever. Like at this point, well, I could sell the Jinx or just sell the Urgots. Okay, well, didn't have time to find an Urgot too, otherwise I would replace the Jinx, but whatever. It is what it is. All right, just hiding from Cassantes, No Cassante on that board. Again, I'd like to be behind the set. It's like the best positioning there. Have him near the redemption, and then just Set does the tanking for him. Wraps around, kills the Kled. This is a guy I lost to when the Scion stunned me. I don't know where his Scion went. Unless there's another player with total domination. Not sure exactly what happened there. I thought, oh, he's on his bench. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. I guess that was a ghost round? No, I don't know. Didn't see exactly what happened, but that was the weaker of the boards, I guess. Might have been a ghost round. All right, just down to 2 players. There's a Zeke's Herald there. That messes up my positioning. I really don't want to mess my positioning up against the Cassante. This player, this left is the player with the Cassante, and he got the blue buff. I'm like, well, Juggernaut emblem. Maybe I can play 4 Juggernaut. I can replace this Scion with another Juggernaut, and then I'll have 4 Juggernaut. Not Set though. He's already on my board. Yeah, I need a different Juggernaut. I've had a bunch of them on my bench before, but I sold them all. No. I could consider playing Cassante or Rise, but no. No. All right, well. So much for 4 Juggernaut. Here you go, Yasuo. You get to be a Juggernaut. 3 Juggernaut in. All right. This player does have Cassante, and he's got the Riftwalk. I don't really know the best way to... I'm just trying to hide... Just trying to hide from the Cassante here. Oh no, Cassante. Okay, well, that's. Oh god, what's gonna happen here? Oh, it looked like he targeted the set, so I got lucky there. I don't know if it was 50-50 or what, but like, luckily he targeted the set. I don't think he would have targeted the Warwick because he was in the second row, but I felt kind of lucky that he didn't kill my Warwick there. And then Callista is safe over there, so between Callista and the Warwick being not getting kicked out, goes pretty well for me. Okay, so as long as I don't get kicked out by the Cassante, I think I have this board, although I guess Cassidy can always assassinate the Callista as well, depending on the RNG of the fight. Callista actually did the most damage in that last fight. Ah, finally found another Juggernaut. Okay, so 1-star Garen is a lot worse than a 1-star Scion, but it does give me 4 Juggernauts, so I'll go ahead and put it in. Again, he doesn't look like he's moved his Cassante. Keep checking his positioning here. I'm just trying to like do anything I can so that Warwick is nice and safe in the back here, so he cannot get kicked by that Cassante. And yeah, don't get kicked by that. He's actually on the Cassidy now. Cassidy TP'd away. I love this positioning the white ended up playing out. Look how Warwick is like nice and cozy right here, right behind the set. Set's doing all the tanking, and Warwick's like just cleaning up stuff right behind him the whole time. It's like perfect. Look, he's still behind the set, and Callista's still alive back there too. It's like I don't think that fight could have gone better for me. Like the way that positioning worked out was like perfect. Where Set was just like totally being the bodyguard, Callista was in the back there, and then the Warwick was just cleaning up everything in the middle row there. Yeah, good game. Warwick Kiro carry.